Hey guys, yes, it has been a while, but life. I had become quite burnt out on playing Pokemon, and I didn't want it to turn into a dread. Like, I didn't want to play Pokemon to the point that I hated Pokemon, so I thought it was time for a break. Sometimes you gotta take a break from things so they remain enjoyable, and I didn't want to overdo playing Pokemon because it's something I've enjoyed literally my entire life. So I didn't want to taint it with the feeling of dread and grind. But here we are, we're back. I had an itch that finally needed scratching again. I had dipped my toes back in the competitive scene to see if it was something I would want to do, and I am sorry to say that I don't. Namely, random battles. I'd say random battles is my favorite game mode. I enjoy it less, definitely, since the changes have fully matriculated and it's become what it is. But I would say even if it was the old randoms, I still wouldn't want to play at a competitive level anymore. Just because there's a certain rank, there's a certain level you get to where the matches are very difficult. Not that I'm not confident I can't win, but it really starts to feel more like work than just gaming, if you know what I'm saying. You got to be practicing all the time, you got to be grinding. Every match is like a 100% brain power, turn by turn analysis. The matches tend to go very slow, at least for me. I definitely don't want to rush at high levels. Want to make sure you're playing everything pretty optimally. And that is just not something I want to dedicate myself to. I don't enjoy it anymore. I think it's too grindy. And again, it's almost like you're doing a job. And don't get me wrong, I will play like that, but I don't want to be playing like that all the time. And as for Comp OU, oh man, that ship sailed a long time ago. Probably 2019, I just lost interest in doing the same thing over and over again. So OU is straight up too boring. But I will tell you one thing I like to do, and that is run bad teams at OU. We are so back. It's something I enjoy, and apparently it's something you guys enjoy as well. So it's a win-win situation, if you ask me. All right, so let's look at the first team we rolled. We got Alakazam, Vaporeon, Wigglytuff, Charizard, Exeggutor, and Jolteon. So, opted for a Zam lead here. I mean, Zam is a standard lead in regular OU, so not a tough decision there. You could run into some problems with early Exeggutor, but we'll find some ways to mitigate if that happens. So, the idea here is, yes, I do have an Exeggutor, but I think the only way I'm going to get an early sleep is if the opponent also leads an Alakazam, and that's a perfect switch into Alakazam with an Exeggutor. But more likely what's going to happen is I am going to paralyze their lead and their Chansey, and that is perfectly fine. Actually, that's something I would much like to do with this Alakazam lead, is force them out with special drops and try to catch them on the switch with paralysis, just so I get 2 paralyses. And if you're new to the channel, or maybe you forgot, I tend to order these Pokemon in the configuration that I want to play them in the actual game. So these would be early game, these mid game, these would be end game, And Exeggutor is stacked toward the end, because if we are focusing on paralysis early, they're just going to try to block the sleep anyway, so we're going to try to get a surprise sleeper in toward the end. He's not going to be the last, though, because he's an Exploder, and you don't want your Exploder for your last, or you're going to force a draw. So we have our Electric in the last, which is pretty solid standard strategy there. Overall, it's a pretty good roll. I mean, we have some viable Pokemon in here. It's definitely not one of the worst ones I've rolled. So my sack, generally slot 2 is my sack, and I'm picking Vaporeon because Vaporeon is kind of the most useless against the opposing meta. I mean, hard-walled by Starmie, hard-walled by Chansey, hard-walled by Slowbro. It's just It's just bad. It's just bad business. So we're gonna try to get Vaporeon to go to sleep. I went with Acid Armor, Body Slam, Blizzard Surf. No rest on this. What's the point? Body Slam for maybe a Starmie switch in. Wigglytuff. Counter on the Wigglytuff. When you're playing with weak teams like this, you gotta have some gimmicks going on. You gotta have some aces up your sleeve, and counter Wigglytuff does work. So it's kind of a catch-22 for the opponent. So if, let's say, they have Tauros come in, well, Wigglytuff also has Thunder Wave, right? So if I put in Wigglytuff on a switch and Body Slam or something, you know, they're risking a Thunder Wave, but on their switch out, they're also risking a counter. So that's nice. Blizzard for Rhydon, and I went with Double Edge because Wigglytuff has a really high HP and has the second highest HP in the game, meaning that its counter is devastating, and its Double Edge does significantly less damage to itself. We already have a paralyzing move, so I switched Body Slam for Double Edge just to get more normal type stab damage out of this Wigglytuff. Charizard. This is the 1500 Charizard I used on the Fire team back in the day. So Earthquake, Fire Blast, Hyper Beam, Swords Dance. Basically, we're just trying to attack max this Charizard, and we keep Fire Blast around as kind of a utility move. 298 speed Swords Dancer, so he's a pretty fast Swords Dancer. He might be the fastest, actually. I'm not sure on that. Standard Executor, Stuns Force, Sleep Powder, Psychic Explosion, and Jolteon, Thunder Wave, Double Kick, Pin Missile, Thunderbolt. Yeah, we're not going to try to be resting the Jolteon. Okay, so let's go watch the match. All right, so Alakazam Starmie leads. That's fine, and he goes right to Chansey to eat the Thunder Wave. This is classic Sing Chansey setup right here. So I already know this Chansey has Sing. We're going to do the Thunder Wave, and we're going to try to get Vaporeon to go to sleep. All right, let's try it. And he misses. Awesome. That's not good, because now this Starmie can come back in. And this Starmie, it's not looking good. So now I'm stuck. I have to commit to Body Slam right now, because I don't know if he's going to try to commit to Sing on Vaporeon. We got to see what's going to happen. He could have Thunderbolt. Oh, man. Goes ahead and does a Thunder Wave. Okay, so we know he doesn't have Thunderbolt now, because who would have Sing, Thunderbolt, Soft-Boiled, Thunder Wave? Nobody would do that. Okay. So it's got to be Ice Beam and Seismic Toss, but I'm still stuck. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do right now. He's going to go to Snorlax, because I'm thinking it was probably Ice Beam, and he's going to make as much progress as I was going to. So he's going to go Snorlax. And is there anything I want to go here? Let's think. Executor, Wigglytuff, Charizard, Jolteon. I think the Wigglytuff counterplay would be way too obvious, and I can't make any headway against the Snorlax without counter. So I think I'm going to stay in here and do Acid Armor, right? I'm going to do some Acid Armor after he does that. Okay, and what? He does Reflect, which is weird. I go for the Blizzard, hoping for a freeze, big crit. Boom, baby, yes, that's what I need. That's what I need. All right, big frozen Snorlax. And it looks like I predicted the Starmie with the Body Slam, but I don't get it. Darn. So what I need to do now is get something else paralyzed so something else can block Chansey's Sing. And I am doing a test switch with Alakazam. I'm going to throw Alakazam in. I didn't believe he was going to do Thunder Wave. So I'm going to do Alakazam, and then I'm going to go Wigglytuff. Right? Perfect block on that Psychic. We're going to go Wigglytuff now. And he's going to go Chansey. Okay, cool. So Double Edge, right? And what now? Is that another one-hit kill? Oh, man, I got sung. I got sung. Darn it. Plan failed. I think it would have survived that second Double Edge anyway. Darn. Okay, so where to now? Probably back to Zam, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to get this Starmie now. I need to Thunder Wave this Starmie now. I really need to get this. This is a pain. This is a pain for me. So I'm going to try to drop this Chansey out and catch the Starmie on the switch. So we're doing this now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, better soft-boiled. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There it is. Okay, so do I shoot? Am I going to shoot? I don't shoot. Darn. So I made a decision. I was like, no, he's going to heal, and then he's going to switch, right? Sometimes I shoot right away. Sometimes it's discretionary. Like, I think he's going to heal first, and then he's going to switch. So I missed that play. And he does something really good here. He keeps Starmie in because he thinks that I think he's going to refresh. He's going to refresh Chansey. He's going to put Chansey back in. So watch this. He's like, you're not going to Thunder Wave. You're not going to do it. So I do Psychic again, and then I say, okay, Thunder Wave, and then he blocks with Chansey. Like, he's reading me like a book right now. I'm very surprised. All right, another Psychic there, another drop, and I'm trying to read him like a book too. He heals this time, and I think I shoot, and I miss. Oh, man, dude, he's Psychic. He's the Nostradamus of our time. I'm going to shoot again, right? Now you're going to do it. Now you're going to do it. Because you think I'm going to heal, but I'm actually going to do a Thunder Wave. And he's getting me right now. I'm getting red. Okay, now I got to heal, right? He does something questionable. He goes Tauros. He wants the Zam gone, but I can still Thunder Wave the Tauros, which is just as well. That's just as well for me. Go ahead, take it. I'll trade that. Let's trade that. Okay, that's gone. But Starmie is still alive and well, right? I don't like that very much. We're going to go Vaporeon. Let's think here. Executor, Charizard, Jolteon. We want to save Jolteon. Basically, what I'm trying to do is just get chip damage on this Tauros with Vaporeon before bringing an Executor to finish. And I know what you're thinking. Well, there's this Chansey here that's going to block you, right? Sure. But what's Vaporeon going to do anyway? What's he really going to do anyway? Like, come on, guys. I may as well take my shot now. So we're just going to go ahead and do a Surf. Maybe we'll get good paralysis luck. Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Maybe again. No, we're dead. Okay, so now I'm going to bring Executor. And I assume he's going to block with Chansey, and we're just going to spam Psychic, trying to force a switch. Really, what we're trying to do is drop a Sleep Powder on that Starmie on the switch out, right? Similar to the Thunder Wave tactic, we're going to try to do a Sleep Powder tactic. So, let's get this Tauros out of here. Very good. He goes Starmie right away. So, that was a little disconcerting, because that Blizzard very well could have crit me, but really here, I'm low on options, and I'm just going to Leroy. I'm just going to Leroy that Sleep Powder. Like, okay, well, we got to try. And he's been playing pretty predictively, so he's probably trying to read an Explosion on this Snorlax here, so I can't just click Explosion, right? He could have tried to read me. So I'm going to Leroy the Sleep Powder, and thank God we get it. Thank the Lord we get that. Okay, he's going to go Executor. And we're playing the mutual explosion dance right now. You don't know it yet. See, there he goes. He's trying to bait me. I'm going to do Stun Spore, and then I think he's thinking Psychic, but I'm actually just going to Stun Spore again. Why not? Okay, good. We get that, and he's playing very well. So what he's going to do is he's going to commit. And that's a good play, because basically he's shown me that, hey, buddy, I know what you're trying to do. I have this frozen Snorlax here. So I'm taking that message and I'm saying, I see. Okay. I may not explode now. And he reads it perfectly. So I do a Psychic here. Watch. He does something crazy and it totally works. Doesn't kill me. Okay, now here you'd think, okay, now he's going to explode. No, he calls my bluff. He calls my bluff and just stays in. God, dude, this guy's playing around my Executor excellently. And now I have to play around his. Now it's like, oh man, karma's coming. So I go Jolteon instead of Charizard. Was that really the move, Keegan? Yes, it was. Because I'm giving it some thought. And I'm not actually trying to kill this Executor, and I think he knows that this Jolteon has a good chance of not killing him right away. Whereas if I were to put in Charizard on that weekend special, he would switch out right away on the Fire Blast, right? Likely into Snorlax, probably not, because Snorlax could still die. But I did not want him to switch out. I wanted to present him with a high value target so I could do this. And I believe he would have exploded on that turn. But now I'm like, crap. I'm caught with my pants down. Darn it. So now I have to switch something else back in, and I have to do the Executor dance. Just kidding. I'm just going to stay here. So he overpredicted. He thought I was going to switch something else in because my Wigglytuff was in danger, but it really, in a Nash equilibrium scenario, there's no point because he could just do that, right? And I may as well just go with the Charizard route after that anyway. So he predicts another switch, blows himself up on a, well, it wasn't totally useless because this Chansey can sing me again, but we're going to try to take care of that. So is it time to deploy Charizard yet? Well, let's take a look. This is safely asleep. This is chipped a little and paralyzed, frozen, and what could this be? Zapdos, Rhydon, who knows? It could even be Alakazam. It could be the Big Six. So if I go Charizard now, and he goes Chansey because he wants another sleep, I have to take one turn to set him up, and I'm weak to Ice Beam. So, and then if Charizard goes to sleep, I'm going to have to put in Jolteon and finish with Jolteon, right? Ultimately, I end up sending in Jolteon because I believe Jolteon has more staying power if he is asleep. It was a tough call, but I want to pressure this Chansey with Double Kick on the first turn and just keep up that pressure. Keep it healing. I don't want it to do Sing on me. And maybe even goad him into a Thunder Wave. Maybe he'll miss Sing and cut his losses and do Thunder Wave instead, but I could still, have the speed advantage and the advantage on the sleeping Starmie, which isn't too threatening right now. Okay, so Jolteon, there it is. There's the Chansey. And we got to go to work. We got to start putting pressure on this Chansey. Perfect. Hit him again. There's the heal. We're just going to keep hitting it. Going for broke here. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Bullet dodged. Okay. And that's a wrap, baby. There's that Thunder Wave. And we're going to try to sink him with crit Thunderbolts. Doesn't matter that he dropped that special. A few crits will take care of that. But no, it's over. But guess what? We're going to do a Swords Dance. We're going to become faster than the Alakazam, even if he does this. Insta-kill with Hyper Beam there. Insta-kill with Earthquake here. This is frozen. That's the end of the game. And we pull it out. Believe it or not, this was the first try. I got this one on the first try. That's pretty rare. That is pretty rare. All right. So let's go on to the next one. All right. Let's take a look at the second team. So we got Starmie and... So that was painful to look at. Yeah, sharp contrast from the last team. Basically, if my opponent has a Gengar or a Rhydon, they probably win. Isn't that great? Oh, man. Okay, and this Starmie was a Mew sub. If I roll Mew or Mewtwo, I have to sub them out with something of a similar moveset. So this was the Mew moveset, Psychic, Recover, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave. So no Blizzard, no Surf, no nothing. Also, Starmie is the only good Pokemon on the team. So not only do I have to use it as my only viable lead, but I also have to try to preserve it for a little longer, which sucks a lot. We have Pidgeot. Whoa, man. I hate it, thanks. Pidgeot is going to be the sack because it's useless against Rhydon and Gengar. I mean, completely useless. Really, really useless. Pinsir. We're not even going to try to go for the Swords Dance. Really, we need some more paralysis on this team, so I just went with a raw attacking Pinsir. No setup, no Swords Dance, no nothing. Body Slam / Seismic Toss for Gengar and Submission for Rhydon. Okay, cool. Muck. Body Slam, Explosion, Fire Blast, Screech. Screech. So aside from Explosion, Muck doesn't really have a reliable physical damage dealing move. So Screech has two advantages. We're going to try to lower the target's defense in Body Slam, but also we're going to try to lower their defense and try to get them to switch into a Body Slam with Screech. And Fire Blast is to lower attacks on things. Additionally, we could do a Screech, Beta Switch, and then explode on something potentially we want to explode on. So that's the idea. Beedrill. I don't opt for Mega Drain or Agility on Beedrill, because what's the point? Beedrill is just so weak that setting up an Agility, like if you're going to set up an Agility, you may as well just set up a Swords Dance, because Beedrill is going down quickly. And Twin Needle is actually neutral damage on Rhydon, so you're getting as much utility out of Swords Dance Twin Needle as you are with a straight Mega Drain, I think. Maybe a little more with Mega Drain, but who cares? I mean, it's Beedrill. And Beedrill is just lucky that there's something on the team that's technically worse than he is in terms of coverage. So Beedrill is not the sack, believe it or not. Moltres. If there is a Starmie, it's looking pretty bad. Not gonna lie. Or Slowbro. Yeah, looking pretty bad. But Moltres does have some good utility in the offensive sector because of Agility Fire Spin. So we can put pressure on something, and I am stacking Moltres toward the back to potentially secure a win based on cheese alone. Beedrill toward the back because he's kind of weak, and we do want to try to set up that Swords Dance and get some damage on something. I picked Muck before Beedrill because Muck does have Body Slam capability, so we're trying to get a bit more paralysis before we explode. Right. Pinsir because he has the least weaknesses. Again, Body Slam paralysis, Pidgeot sack, Starmie strong lead, the carry on the team basically. So, oh man, let's go ahead and watch this shit show. Okay. Starmie Jinx. Oh man. Alright, so I want to throw in Pidgeot to eat the Lovely Kiss, and if he misses the Lovely Kiss, oh my god, I'm in a bad situation. Right, okay. Go Pidgeot, and he goes Chansey! Why? Okay, so this is not a Sing Chansey because he has Jinx, right? I'm going to go back to Starmie and get a paralysis on this Chansey, or whatever. He goes Rhydon. What was that? Am I desynced right now? Starmie, Jinx, Pidgeot, Chansey, Starmie again. He goes Rhydon on the Starmie, and then goes back to Chansey. Gotcha. Okay, he was afraid of a Blizzard. So paralyze this, and we're going to try to employ the same strategy we employed on Alakazam, but the only difference is we are fishing to see if he has Thunderbolt. So we're going to try to force a switch, and we want to try to get this Jinx paralyzed. But also, he lost his chance at putting this Starmie to sleep just by paralyzing it. But this is kind of telling me that maybe he's confident he can take me down because he does have Thunderbolt. Okay? Get the drop, that's good. And he does have it. And it's a good thing I got that drop before he dropped that Thunderbolt on my head, because I lost less health. Am I going to shoot the Thunder Wave now, predicting a switch? Goes Jinx, do I shoot? I think I did, but I got full parried, so it didn't matter. So now I think he's going to refresh the Thunderbolt Chansey, right? But he doesn't. It's weird. He commits. It's a big misplay right there. He's committing to Starmie with his Jinx, and that was meant for Chansey. And I'm like, what? You're still in? So I'm thinking maybe he's pulling something that the last guy did, and he's taking a risky play, trying to read the double psychic and trying to switch back to Chansey on the Thunder Wave. So I have to heal now. There we go. And he still stays in. I'm like, all right, dude, if you insist, here you go. Right? And now he's going to switch to Chansey. I heal, and I got to get out of there. That Thunderbolt's going to do some serious damage. Okay, so I go Pincer here. And basically, I'm looking for an intermediary here. We've already discussed earlier, I'm trying to preserve this Starmie because it's the best thing on the team. Starmie did a real bang-up job of scoring some early paras on both Jinx and Chansey, even if that partially was the opponent's fault. But Pincer is going to be my intermediary, and what I'm looking for right now is submission on these three, right? I have submission coverage on these three. So we're going to go ahead and shoot a submission, see what happens. He keeps Chansey in. Now it's in danger. He's going to get paralyzed. And I'm actually going to submission again, because what he can do from here is he can block a more accurate move with Rhydon and then kill my Pincer instantly. So I'm just going to hedge my bets on the 80% accuracy and submission one more time. He goes Jinx, get some decent damage there, and then Pincer's going to go down. Moltres. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to insta-kill the Jinx. I don't think Twin Needle got the job done, and also there's this Rhydon here. So what I'm trying to do is punish the Rhydon switch with a potential burn and some big damage. Even though it's resistant to fire, Moltres has the strongest fire blast in the game. Base-wise, it has the strongest fire blast in the game. So I want to punish that Rhydon switch, but this is actually a misplay on my part because I wasn't seeing clearly. If you see a Jinx and a Rhydon, it's almost guaranteed your opponent is going to have a Starmie. It's a pretty common sample team, right? The Jinx Starmie synchronicity is a very common play with Jinx leads. So he could have gone to Starmie here, but he doesn't. He lets the Jinx bite it. And if I burn the Starmie, I would have been on a countdown to Loserville, because a burned Starmie is like, dude, good luck, buddy. I don't even think my Thunderbolt Starmie could realistically take that down because I'm already paralyzed, and I would have been paralyzed anyway. Okay, so he goes Rhydon, which is okay, because Rock Slide is a one-hit kill, right? But if he has Starmie, which I think at this point I know that he does, then Starmie would have been a lot better. Unless the Starmie doesn't have Thunderbolt, in which case it can't pressure my Starmie. Maybe he was saving Starmie for something else, because I do... The thing about running random teams is they are completely unpredictable. Completely unpredictable, and usually OU players play the same lines over and over, so you know they're not quite used to it. Or maybe he thinks I'm stupid and he's just confident enough to do whatever he wants, but you shall pay for underestimating me. Okay, so here I'm going to sack Pidgeot, because Pidgeot is not doing much for me, I'm not going to lie. So I don't die, and I actually opt for Double Edge instead of Hyper Beam for the damage, because I don't believe he's going to Rock Slide again. I think he wants to put up that Substitute, and if I'm really, really lucky, my Hyper Beam can break the Substitute on my way out. So I don't want him to have that Substitute up, because Rhydon's going to cause a lot of problems for the remainder of my team, namely Beedrill and Muck, right? So we don't want to die with him having a Substitute up, and I actually make the right call, and I break it. I don't know if that's a break without a crit. I actually didn't bother looking, but I just figured I was doing the best I could anyway, considering I was already trapped in there with Rhydon. So I break the sub and I go down. I get really lucky there. That's what I like to see. We're going to put Starmie back out. So he thinks I have Blizzard. That's the important thing to note. So he goes Chansey. He's sacking the Chansey. And then he's going to go Snorlax. Good. Fine. This is a fight that you can win. If you are in a Body Slam Snorlax Starmie matchup, you can win this fight if you have Psychic. So what you got to do is you got to keep recovering until they get full parried, and then you attack. But ultimately, you have more recovers than they do body slams. So you just keep recovering. So I'm going to sit pretty here. I think this is a fight that I can win. I'm going to keep recovering. He gets a nice crit there, but no sir, no full para for me. I'm just going to keep on recovering and wait for him to get full para'd. There we go. And now we're going to start attacking back. He's going to get a drop here. I heal. Okay, yep. Sticking to the plan. Does hyper beam. Nope. That's why we heal, people. That's why we keep recovering. You never know. And he's going to show his Starmie at this point. He's going to try to refresh. An unorthodox refresh method, Snorlax Starmie is, but, you know, it can work. And I think it actually ends up working in this scenario. Okay, so now we got to start over, but, you know, we know that Starmie's there, and now we can try to get a Thunder Wave on it on the switch. Now we just have to time it right? Okay, we're going to keep attacking. I make a misplay here, I think, right? So I completely forgot, like, when he brought it back in, I forgot that he wasn't already resting. It's so stupid. Believe me, I'm aware. So I Thunder Wave again, even though he's still slower than me, but, like, my dumb, primitive brain was like, oh, he no have paralysis label. We must give him paralysis label. Even though he was, like, it happens more often than I like to admit. But I make a big misplay, and I don't opt to go for the damage or the drops. I do another paralysis. So, that stinks. He rests again. I'm going to do nothing. But after that, I'm going to do Psychic. And we're losing Psychics, people. That's not good. We can't lose all of our Psychics because we still have to get rid of Rhydon. Period. So now I'm like, oh crap, dude. And I misplay again here. So in my mind, I was like, well, maybe he thinks I'm stupid. And I've already paralyzed when he lost the status. Maybe he thinks I'll paralyze again so he won't go Starmie. But as soon as he sees the drop, he goes right to Starmie. And I Psychic, thinking that he thought I was going to Thunder Wave. And I'm like, damn it! Oh my god, I'm going to lose all my Psychics right now. Okay? But he does something weird. He commits, dude. He heals, and I'm like, if you insist, because this Snorlax was going to come back in with full stats, and I was going to Thunder Wave anyway, right? But he stays in on that, so I guess I got my wish. Anyway. Okay. And now I'm worried. So I time the rest here. I predict the rest, and I gotta have some Psychics left for Rhydon, period. So I'm going to do a Swords Dance, Pin Missile. I predict a Rhydon, that's fine. But if Starmie dies, Beedrill's not going to do much for me anyway. So I'm just going to get some chip here and then get a fresh entry with Starmie on Rhydon. And that poison's actually good. I believe Rock Slide has a 92% kill chance on Beedrill. Fact check me on that, even without a crit. But I die instantly. This poison, though, is not bad, because I can't paralyze it. I have nothing to put it to sleep with. And I do have a trapping Pokemon that I can utilize to get this Rhydon out of my face. But Moltres, Starmie, even with the paralysis, it's good luck. You know, you're going to have a hard time killing that. So I'm going to have to do a pivot sequence somehow to get rid of Starmie, as well as Rhydon. This goes down. He goes back to his Starmie. He doesn't know I have Thunderbolt yet. So he wanted to block the Psychic, and he's going to stay in. I don't know if he has Thunderbolt either. He goes Psychic. I assume he has Blizzard. Thank God he doesn't get the drop, because I'm going to drop his Thunderbolt on him. He does a big misplay here, because he could bring in this Rhydon and kill my Starmie, potentially, right? I could kill him with a crit, but I think this is 2 hits with Psychic, I believe. And I don't want to even risk healing, because I'm not going to be able to heal enough out of his Earthquakes to end on a good health anyway, and I could potentially he's going to move first, for one. If he switches in, he's going to move first, and I could potentially get full parrot and die. So the most I can do is psychic his Rhydon once, meaning he can completely retain this Starmie against my Moltres and win. But he commits after the Thunderbolt. I just do it again and kill him right away. So, like, his win condition is completely gone, and I am cheering in real life after this happened because it's like the biggest nuisance to me is dead. Thanks. So I think he's just going to go back to Rhydon anyway here. I'm not even going to bother with healing. Too risky. I'm just going to do the Psychic. And I forgot to mention before, guys, he brought it in, and the poison chipped him, and he was 1 Psychic. So I think it was... I don't think I would have died anyway, so there was a chance that I could heal, but again, he also has Tauros, so maybe I'm just delusional. But the poison chip damage ultimately, I think, helped me there. Okay, he goes Tauros. It's time to go Starmie. And now Muck. So I am going to do a Fire Blast to try to get that burn. I don't want to explode right away because he could go to this, and Snorlax won't lose as much health as Tauros, right? And then he'll have a completely healthy Tauros to go against my Moltres, and that's a fight he can win. So we're going to do Fire Blast. Hope he doesn't score a crit Earthquake on us. Don't get the burn. He's going to do Earthquake again. Thank God, no crit, and now I'm just going to blow it. I'm just going to blow. The Fire Blast put him in range for that explosion to kill, so that's good. If he went to Snorlax, that would also still be good, right? Because by doing that initial Fire Blast with Muck, I have put Tauros from a 3-hit KO to a 2-hit KO with Moltres. And if he goes Lax, it doesn't die. It's going to die when Moltres comes in, and he's not going to want to switch that Tauros into a Moltres Fire Blast. So I think just that little bit of chip damage gave Moltres a fighting chance against an endgame Tauros situation. So I think I played that pretty all right. And now it is fully sleeping Snorlax against Moltres, and I'm sure you know how this ends. I can't believe I pulled this out. So we're just going to spam Fire Blast. He's going to wake up. He gets a rest. But I do eventually hit him with a big fat crit. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, and we got it. I can't believe I got a win with this team. My God. I actually got it in 2 as well. I got it in 2 games. Just 2. I thought I'd be here for like 11. My Lord. I don't know. Maybe if I keep playing, my elo will go higher. I've always wanted to see if I could get 1,400 using random teams only. That would be something, wouldn't it? All right, guys. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, or don't. I don't know. I'm terrible at goodbyes.